If you've ever been told that you created your own illness, you may feel blamed, shamed, annoyed, angry, and a bit confused. And that's not what this video is about. It's not about blaming or shaming. And also, illness is not a punishment, as a lot of people think it is. It's not caused by low vibrations, and it's certainly not your fault. But it is created through long-held, unconscious, limiting assumptions about safety, aging, pressure, and survival. So this isn't a moral issue. It's a mechanical issue, if you like. It's the process of consciousness at work. And if you've tried treatments and supplements, energy work, and you'll still hit the same wall, it's always because this deeper signal hasn't changed and it's not truly understood. And so in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how that belief signal is formed, how to reverse it without guilt, without force, and without pretending that everything's fine. So welcome back to the channel. My name's David Marshall, and I've spent 10 years as a full-time healer running my own spiritual center and working directly with clients every single day. I'm also a master hypnotherapist, master NLP practitioner, and for nearly 30 years I've worked with people specifically on belief change, the mind-body connection, and spiritual development and manifesting. As a healer for 10 years full-time, I can tell you that my experience is that unless the body is so broken down it cannot repair, all illness is curable. And now on this channel we look at consciousness and how it creates realities like health, including that body that you have. More and more research is going into trauma, it's going into understanding how chronic illness is formed, and it's influenced by long-term stress and nervous system dysregulation. It's not the pathogens, the genetics, or the lifestyle, it's your beliefs about all those that have the overriding impact. And so this isn't a mind over matter, it's about how the body's regulated. Its mind is matter. Now your body of course isn't random, it's not stupid, it's highly intelligent, and it's not broken. It's a biological and psychic system that follows instructions given by you to the nervous system, and the nervous system is reliant upon you and your beliefs, consciously and unconsciously, as the director of processes. And if your underlying assumption is the world is unsafe, my body's fragile, or it's aging equals decline, your biology quietly reorganizes itself to match those expectations. By health, it doesn't have to be that way, but if that's how we direct it, that's the key. The body cannot heal in a state where it doesn't feel safe to create health, or to heal illness, or to avoid illness in the future. You have to understand that the mind and body are one mechanism, and that the body is reliant upon your beliefs for its overall well-being. And if this kind of clear, practical approach to consciousness and healing and self-awareness appeals to you, subscribe so that you don't miss the next videos. And then let's look at how beliefs become biology, how the three main pathways that turn assumptions and beliefs into symptoms work, how if you do have an illness you are able to cure it as quickly and efficiently as possible, and how you can actually remain healthy without being ill at all. So if you are experiencing an illness and you want to reverse it, you first have to understand how it's created so that you can create health. And so everything starts with the belief system and then the nervous system. So think of the belief system and the nervous system like security in a building. Their only job is to decide, are we safe enough to repair, or do we have to defend from something? And when you unconsciously hold beliefs like, I'm not safe, I can't handle this pressure, I'm not worthy, my body's wearing out, the nervous system reads that as coding, if you like, as well as a bit of a threat to itself. And so it doesn't know the difference between a tiger, a stressful email, and a really bad belief that's not true, or a lifelong fear of aging. And so it shifts into sympathetic dominance or fight and flight. And I think probably 90% of people, maybe 97% of people, live their life in fight or flight quite unconsciously. And as we know, in survival mode, the body prioritizes short-term survival over long-term maintenance. Immune surveillance and ability drops, cellular repair slows, inflammation rises, digestion, regeneration, they're put on hold or slowed. And of course this isn't a flaw, it's just an intelligent design of consciousness, psychic and emotional energy for emergencies. That's why we need it. But when that state becomes chronic, hours a day, for years, decades, a lifetime, the body never gets the all-clear signal that it needs to rebuild. Decades ago, Seth, the consciousness teacher, channeled by Jane Roberts, one of my all-time favorites, probably my all-time favorite, described this with clarity. He said that the body is the physical materialization of your beliefs. Full stop. Just that's what it is. Not symbolically, but quite literally. So your beliefs shape your emotional climate. Beliefs come first and then emotions. That climate then drives the nervous system, and the nervous system decides whether to repair cells or kind of degrade. It will reflect your beliefs faithfully, no matter what they are. And so let's look at the 3 pathways to illness before we look at how you can resolve it. So pathway 1 is identity beliefs about the body. And so we live inside a powerful cultural hypnosis around age, decline and limitation. We absorb stories about what bodies should do at 40, 50, 60, whatever they may be. And these aren't just ideas, they're kind of hypnotic instructions that we take on board. And if you choose to believe them, then you will expect your joints to wear out, repair slows. You might expect to be sickly as you age. And if you expect decline, biology quietly creates that for you. And again, to quote Seth, you get what you expect and not what you hope for. Your beliefs are the predominant driving factor of your biology. And biology doesn't respond to optimism, it responds to expectation and the core beliefs that you have. Pathway 2 is chronic anxiety and unsafe loops. And so this is a really common pathway when your nervous system believes that you're under constant threat from trauma. Now, it could be finances, it could be relationships or the state of the world. Stress hormones flood the system. You must be careful about what you believe and what you take in terms of news and ideas. Cortisol, adrenaline become the background noise of your life. People really don't know how to relax. Inflammation rises. In biological terms, repair is delayed. The body is so busy defending itself from this internal surveillance, if you like, that it's got to have against the world. Not because the body is failing in any way, shape or form. It's constantly trying to create health, but it's also trying to protect you from what you are saying about the world and yourself and what you believe. Pathway 3 is the illness as a forced stop. And this is really key to understand. And we've all experienced it. Well, we may have. The illness sometimes appears like a biological emergency brake. Burnout, chronic migraines, back injuries, autoimmune issues flare up because they can't function anymore. Because the unconscious information we're feeding it is saying, okay, I need to stop now. Now, this doesn't mean that you chose your illness or that you're to blame. It does mean that your system chose survival with the tools it had, and the broader consciousness says you need to take a break. So they're the 3 areas how illness is created. And this is why so many treatments do help, but they actually don't resolve the issue. And Seth again observed something critical, which is no suggestion works unless it's accepted. We have to believe we can be well. We have to believe we are safe. We have to believe the body is capable of being healthy. And if the body doesn't accept safety because of what you're saying, no intervention can actually fully integrate and help. So let's talk about the reversal. If you have an illness, no matter what you've got, then this will apply. We're not talking about wishful thinking here or denial or forced positivity. We're talking about some steps. So step 1 is the nervous system regulation. Healing always begins when the body realizes it no longer has to defend itself. So you have to begin to believe that the body is healthy and safe. You can do simple daily down regulation practices like 5 minutes of slow breathing before sleep or a short body scan in the morning, allowing yourself some kind of gentle movement that tells the system that it's safe, that you are safe. What you're doing is sending the message to every cell in your body. The war is over. It's safe to rebuild. We are not in danger. And if you do this consistently until you have a general basic sense of your own safety, then healing becomes natural and your new normal. Step 2 would be the belief audit. This is essential. People don't do this, but this is what really works. And it's the work I've been doing with people for 3 decades, helping them uncover and change the expectations their body is already following and causing problems. So beliefs are not mantras that you repeat. Beliefs are expectations your body trusts and acts on, things you accept to be true. So you can begin by writing down the assumptions you have about your body, health, emotional and mental and physical. You might say, I'm getting old, or healing is hard, or as I get older, I've got to fall apart. And then ask yourself, is this actually a universal truth or a learned expectation? And it's always a learned expectation. And so when that old belief arises, just interrupt it and offer something new, slightly better. And as you do this with repetition and reprogramming the system and your belief system initially over weeks and months, your body will respond. Remember that beliefs are the core of manifesting also. So we must understand the power of these. And if you're struggling with them, there will be a link in the description for the belief blueprint. You can go through, get that, and get 5-day email training. And so step 3 is actually listening to the no, the forced stop, if you like. If illness has been acting as a forced stop for you, you've got to start stopping before the body does it for you. Ask yourself, where am I overextending? Where am I actually unhappy? Where am I saying yes to that I really don't want to? You can begin with tiny action. So one boundary honored task that you just drop without guilt, or one rest taken a day when you wouldn't normally. When you respect limits voluntarily, then the body and your system no longer needs illness as a defense. You remove its utility to harm you. So I hope that's given you some really good insights. It's based on experience and these things work. And the power to heal is not something you have to earn. The body by its nature is healthy. It wants to heal itself. Your job is to stop sending the signals that block it and get in the way, the inherited expectations or chronic fear. And of course, this isn't a replacement for medical care. If you're doing that right now, you're taking tablets or you busted your arm, go to a hospital. What you have to do is build this up over time, step by step. And if it resonated, do hit like so the video reaches more people who need it. And also subscribe if you want more practical videos on consciousness, health, manifestation, and creation. And if you're ready to go deeper into your beliefs that are causing these problems and you struggle to do that, then the link is in the description for the Belief Blueprint. It's a free training. It's going to allow you to really understand the nature and take you into that process, but you have to actually take part. And I love hearing all your comments. I actually answer most of them if I can and have the time. Tell me, which pathway do you recognize with yourself? Is it identity beliefs? Is it chronic anxiety or worry or stress? Or is it the force stopped because you're actually burnt out? So I hope that's of interest and it really helped you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.